If you are somehow not caught up on this cake talk drama, whew. This is Kylie, and she owns and operates Kylie Cake's Dessert Bar and Cafe in Princeton, West Virginia. A few weeks back, one of her customers ordered a rainbow birthday cake for her daughter, and let's just say was a little bit dissatisfied with the product. The customer then sent Kylie a message on Facebook telling her she was unhappy with the price point and the quality of the cake, just for Kylie to turn around and tell her that she was disrespectful and not welcomed in the business anymore, and then she made TikToks complaining about the customer. So I want you to remember that Kylie not only refused to try to meet this customer in the middle and accommodate them, she called them names instead and then took it public herself. Since that day, the internet has done exactly what it does and absolutely trounced on this girl. There's been thousands of TikToks made on this girl, garnering millions of views, calling out everything from the quality of her other cakes, the outrageous prices of all of her products across the board, the seeming lack of care and slight arrogance that she has portrayed ever since. It's been wild. I haven't seen something like this in a very long time, and today I'm gonna try to make some rainbow cakes of my own, just to see what the average home baker can do, and maybe if I can try to justify that $80 price point. So let's get right into this one. I'm gonna make 2 rainbow cakes today, the first one being with all store-bought and boxed ingredients, and the second one being completely from scratch. But for this one, I grabbed some boxed white cake mixes and rainbow sprinkles, some store-bought white frostings, and then everything else you would need for your boxed cake mixes. So now that you guys are more or less caught up to speed on this entire situation, allow me to offer my opinions. I'm very torn on a lot of this, and the reason being, I myself have been at the wrath of the internet at times. Maybe not to this degree, but it can feel crazy when any amount of people try to gang up on you and expose you for anything that they can dig up. So at first, I really did sympathize with her quite a bit. That was until I did a little bit more research of my own. First of all, when you own a business that serves the public, it is usually unwise to snap back at a customer's complaint, especially when they weren't even being that rude at first. It seemed kind of constructive. They just wanted Kylie to make it right, and it seemed like that would have been an easy fix. I don't know why on God's green earth she decided to go public with this first. She must be in like quite an echo chamber of opinions to never take any feedback or criticism at all. As far as the pricing, $75 to $80 didn't seem too unbelievable to me. There are many examples of similar cakes online that go for that pricing, and we're talking a customized, freshly baked cake here. She even mentions how she charges premium prices because she uses premium ingredients. And then people found videos with many boxes of Betty Crocker cake mix hiding in the background, her very clearly using Great Value brand pie fillings and other ingredients. And I do want to say there's nothing inherently wrong with boxed cake mix. There's surprisingly a lot of bakers that use that. It's just flour and leaveners and sugar. You can't be misleading about that either though. If somebody asks, you can't say you only use premium, high quality, from scratch ingredients. And finally, the last nail in the coffin for me was when she posted her response video to all the hysteria, and she had the following to say.
I'm not offended by your guys' comments because honestly, I mean, look at some of you.
You cannot say that in this situation. It made it so much worse. Somebody get this poor girl a PR person. But with all that being covered, my first of 2 rainbow cakes today is complete. I think it came out looking pretty good, so let's give it a taste. I also forgot to mention, if you're new to the channel, I am not a professional. I am an average home cook / baker, which is why some of the layers are uneven and the writing was questionable, but I can't complain. Whatever Kylie uses, I hope it ain't like this because this is not the best. It's very spongy, which is pretty indicative of a boxed cake. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, and there's ways that you can use boxes and have it be fine. This was not one of them though. You can kind of tell some of those layers are just like weirdly firm, spongy texture. The bottom ones look fine. And I did them in batches, so it's not like the batter sat around and got weird. The frosting's not bad though. I utilized that trick of like whipping some air into the store-bought frosting, and it actually turns out pretty good. The added air and fluffiness kind of reduces the sweetness a bit, but again, I'm not a professional. I hope Kylie's cakes look and taste better than this one. But now it's time to make one completely from scratch, and I'm curious to see how they compare. For this one, we're going to be using one of the most viewed rainbow cake recipes of all time from Cupcake Gemma. And surprisingly, all you need is self-rising flour and sugar, whole milk and rainbow sprinkles, lots of butter, vanilla extract, eggs, powdered sugar, and of course, your food dyes. It's always kind of unbelievable when I'm getting ready to make such a large, eye-popping recipe, and it's only these few raw ingredients that make it. But I digress. So the workflow for this one is obviously very similar to the last one. You whip up your cake batter, divide it in 6, dye them with your colors, and bake them off. Of course, this time using raw ingredients both for the frosting and the cake. And we're gonna see if it's really worth it, if it's really that much better than using boxed cake mixes, and also maybe get a clearer understanding of if she's actually using boxed mixes or not, based on the physical attributes of this, the way it looks, both raw and cooked. But I'm gonna be just as critical with this one, just like I am with everything else I create. And we could start that off with, honestly, how annoying this recipe is. First of all, she recommends making this batter in batches if you don't have 6 equally sized cake pans. I refuse to do that again. The last recipe was annoying enough, so I scavenged together a bunch of 9-inch pans from friends. Shout out Lindsay. And besides that, it's just a large volume of stuff to work with. For example, we're using 9 eggs, over 10 sticks of butter by the end of this. I know it's gonna be a large cake, but if you were to cut this in 8 slices, that means you have nearly a stick and a half of butter in your slice of cake. Of course, sifting out your flours and your powdered sugar for the frosting can be a big old mess and trash your kitchen, especially if we don't have a stand mixer. My God, I would not recommend this without that. It's a big undertaking, for sure. It's a lot of labor, but also, I'm not a professional. I'm not trying to sell these for $80 a piece. Oh my God, literally, as I am recording this live, she just posted another video about her giving away free rainbow cupcakes, so that's something. She even used hashtag Cakegate and Cake Talk, as everyone is referring to this situation as, so maybe she'll be able to lean into this and actually show a bit of humility and come out on the other side okay. That'll remain to be seen though. The edges are a lot less sharp than the last one for sure, but the colors are a bit more vibrant, so let's give the homemade rainbow cake a shot. Now this is what I call a damn rainbow cake. For as much trouble as I had with that first frosting layer, it actually turned out pretty decent. Sprinkles helped that along. And I think my cake handwriting is getting a little better. Still not the best though. I'll still never hate on anyone for using a boxed cake mix, especially at home, but there's really no comparison. Everything from the flavor to the crumb, it's just better. It looks higher quality, it's a lot more appetizing in my opinion, but in the end you just can't beat it. Also, would it be crazy to suggest that somebody create a version of this where every single layer tastes like something different? Would it be overwhelming? I don't know. Whenever I see cakes like this, I want this to taste like cherry, orange, lemon. That's just always what comes to my head, and it kind of fakes me out, but as far as looks, presentation, stuff like that, it's a showstopper, and it'll always be. These things have been around forever. Would I charge $75? Maybe $55 to $60 feels a little bit more appropriate. It's a lot of work, I'm not gonna pretend it isn't. But yeah, all in all, a very interesting one. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, leave me a big thumbs up. It helps out the channel a ton. Please do not send any more harassment Kylie's way. She has more than enough. This video was purely for educational purposes only. Follow me over on Twitter and Instagram if you don't already. And other than that, have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you right back here next time. Peace!
With the M without the AD. Flipping burgers and my money super lazy. Try and make a meal tonight, they ain't paying me. Try and supersize my life with my 18. Yeah, our style wasn't wavy, but we had a vision.